Hello, my sweet and precious students. Let's get started on lesson 34. Following along at home, Math Saxon 8-7, and we are in the second edition. Lesson 34 begins on page 201, but the first thing that we're going to do is example 1 on page 202. Today we're going to be talking about decimals. Yes, fantastic. And how they fall on a number line. So for example number 1, it says find the length of this segment. In fact, I'm going to show you. I think it's easier to show you in the book here. Okay, so you can see that this goes 2 centimeters, right? It's 2 whole centimeters. Let me get my pointy stick here. 2 whole centimeters, and then we've got 1, 2, 3 out of, so the whole, there's 10 segments here, so it's 3 out of 10. So we've got 2 whole, so 1, 2, and 3/10 of a centimeter, or of a millimeter, I'm sorry. Oh, no, of centimeters. Of a centimeter, sorry. Because it's in centimeters right there, right? So that's going to be your answer for A, right? For B here that's your answer for B. Sorry, 2 and 3/10 centimeters. What is that as far as millimeters? Well, there are 10 millimeters in every one of these. So this is 10, 20, plus 3 more. So 20, 1, 2, 3 is 23 millimeters, 23 millimeters. Those are your answers for those first 2 that you can see in the book. Usually I have you write down notes when we do videos and things like that. That one's kind of hard to write down. I just wanted you to see what it would look like. So let's look at the next one, but the next one I will have you write down. So example number 2, Let me find my pen here. All right, so you can always see my reflections in the glasses. That's annoying. It says, find the perimeter of this rectangle in meters. Oh, guys, this is going to be tricky because this is what the perimeter looks like. So definitely write this down. Example 2, and it's 7 centimeters and 12 centimeters. The perimeter equals, add up all the sides, right? Make sure somewhere in your notes it says perimeter is, add up all the sides. So if this is 7, this is 7, and this is 12. So what you're going to write down is 12 plus 12 plus 7 plus 7 centimeters, okay? When we have that, we get 24 plus 14. 24 plus 14 gives me 38. So the perimeter equals 38 centimeters, because that's the unit it's given. But the question says, find the perimeter of this rectangle in meters. Remember, when we're going from small to large, we have to divide. So we're going to take 38 centimeters, and we're going to divide that by how many centimeters are in a meter? 100, okay? 100. The way that this looks, actually, let's do this. Okay, so make sure you have all this written down. What I want you to write down is 38 centimeters to meters. Guys, we are allowed to multiply anything by 1, right? 17 times 1 is 17, -5 times 1 is -5, right? We're allowed to multiply anything by 1. That's what we're going to do for this unit conversion. We take 38 centimeters, we put that over 1, we multiply by, now, we're trying to get rid of centimeters, so since it's on the top here, we want it on the bottom here. Centimeters, we're going to put meters here. We know in 1 meter, there are 100 centimeters. Guys, this equals 1. This is called a unit multiplier. That equals 1 because 1 meter and 100 centimeters, those are the same darn things, right? So what we know now is this cancels out with this, and upstairs I'm left with 38 times 1, which is 38, and downstairs I'm left with 1 times 100, which is 100, and the unit I have remaining is meters. Now, at this point, I'm not going to be too particular about unit conversions. If you can do them in your head, that's fine, but know that next year, unit conversions, you got to show your work exactly like this, okay? 38 divided by 100 is 0.38 meters, 0.38 meters. Okay, so make sure that all of that is written down. If you need to go rewind and write it down again, because that's how I want you to, I'm going to ask you in class, where are your notes for that, okay? So for examples, actually not example number 3, we are now on the practice problems. Guys, your practice problems need to be at the beginning of your homework. So turn to page 203 and do those practice problems A through E, and then come on back and make sure you did them right. All right, find the length of this segment in centimeters for A, okay? Well, if you see here, it goes Okay, so, whoop, there we go. Let me find my pencil. So it is 1 whole 1 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 out of 10. So it should be 1 and 6/10, but we reduce our fractions around here, right? So if you divide this by 2, divide this by 2, we get 1 and 3/5 centimeters. 1 and 3/5 centimeters. Okay, so for that guy, for B, 75 centimeters is how many meters? 75 centimeters is how many meters? Well, we know 75 centimeters over 1 times, centimeters are on top here, centimeters are going to be on the bottom here. This whole thing has to equal 1, right? This whole chunk, centimeters. We're going to go to meters. There, in 1 meter, there are 100 centimeters. This cancels out with this. I am left with upstairs 75, downstairs 100. The unit remaining is meters. 75 divided by 100, 0.75 meters. 0.75 meters. Good. C. Alfredo is 1.7 or 1.5 centimeters, sorry, 1.57 meters tall. How many centimeters is that? So we're going to go from meters to centimeters. 1.5, this is C. 1.57 meters over 1 times meters over centimeters. Again, I'm putting meters in the bottom here because there's meters on the top here. In 1 meter, there are 100 centimeters. These guys cancel out. Now, downstairs, I'm just left with 1 times 1, which is 1, so we can get rid of that. Upstairs, I'm left with 1.57 times 100 centimeters. 100. So that means you have 157 centimeters. Excellent work. If you have any questions, let me know. Let's do D. What point on a number line is halfway between 2.6 and 2.7? This is a tricky one. Let's do this. We've got 2.6, 2.7, 2.8, 2.9. What's halfway between here? Well, if we have just a normal number line and it was like 2 and 3, our halfway point would be 2.5, right? 2 and a half, right? 0.5 is a half. It's going to be the same thing for this, except it's 2.65. Because if you have, let's throw some extra zeros on here. Halfway between 60 and 70 is 65. So hopefully that makes sense on that one. E, what decimal names the point that is marked here? So for E, let me move that guy back up. There we go. So actually, let's just take a look at this guy for number E. So 10 to 10.1. Let's throw an extra 0 on these. Like if we put a 0 here and a 0 here, right? We know that halfway between 0 and 10 would be 5. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 chunks here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right here would be not 10.5, because that would come after 10.1. It would be 10.05, which means that this guy is going to be 10.04, 10.03, 0.02, so this is going to be 10.01, 10.01. It's not 10.1 because 10.1 is all the way over here on the number line, so you got to be careful on that. Please, by the way, don't write in your books. I'm only doing this because I own this book. So, okay. Any other questions? Hopefully you can ask those in class, circle them when you're going through it, and let me know. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you guys in class. Thanks so much.